like I'm young.
Hey guys, it's Alexis here, and today we have a talk about Katsuya Honda from Fruits Basket, because I've been seeing some things and I feel like we need to have a discussion about him. Like, really sit down and talk about him. So without further ado, let's go with the video. But first, we need a little background on Toru's mother, Kyoko. Now, her mother was a wild child, a rebel, but this is because her parents didn't really pay too much attention to her. They didn't really give her that too much attention. They didn't really give her too much attention. They never really did anything as a family. She said she never was hugged by them or praised by them or anything. So she ended up the way she was. She was running around in a gang. She would skip school all the time, and she was just running around angry just because she never had the love of her parents. And this deeply affected her. She was lonely. She didn't have anyone. Her friends, like her gang members, she didn't trust them at all. Until one day, she goes to school and she meets this teacher. And this teacher is who we know as Katsuya Honda. And he is a student teacher there, interning there, because his father's a teacher, and I guess he expected at first to go down that path. Now, did you hear what I just said? Katsuya Honda, Toru's father, is a teacher. Her mother, Kyoko, was a student. She was 14 when they met, by the way. And this man was in his 20s. He was in his 20s, 14-year-old girl, junior high, by the way. Just wanted to let y'all know that. Like, the video just started and we're already getting into it. It's like, you see how much, you see the issues right here. The issues right here. And so when they first met, Kyoko was angry, throwing a fit, and blah, blah, and he was like, why are you so angry? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on? And she basically told him everything. Like, I hate everyone. I'm angry at the world. I'm just mad and blah, blah. And he was the first person to really be there for her. He was like, he noticed, like, oh, I understand. You're lonely. And he was the first person to ever be there for her and actually see her as a human being and treat her with respect. And that's why she fell for him. He was so nice to her. She didn't understand why, but she ended up falling for him. And that's normal, that's understandable. You have this young girl who has the love of no one and has no one that's there for her. So the first person that's like really nice and kind to her, of course she's gonna fall. Of course she's gonna fall for him. Of course she's gonna like lean on him and like feel some type of way towards him, because he's the only he's all that she had at that point. And so they would meet up and he would help her study for school because of him. She kind of wanted to, like, she thought about it. And she really wanted to, like, change her life around. She really wanted to change her life around and, be a better person. And so he would help her study because she wasn't really going to school. So he would help her study, and they would meet up and talk. And she just, like, fell for him more and more and more. And again, understandable. But understand the issue is that this grown man is, essentially grooming this 14-year-old girl. Like, you understand where I'm coming from? And so eventually, when she tries to leave her gang, she gets jumped by the girl. She gets beat up really bad and ends up in the hospital. Parents don't do anything. Like, they don't visit her in the hospital. And so she ends up dropping out of school. And her parents end up kicking her out of the house. And then this is when Katsuya comes to her defense and was like, hey, do you really think it's okay to treat your child like that? Do you really think it's okay to just own your own child, your own flesh and blood, just because, she's not who you hoped she'd be? And so he was like, I'm going to take her. This is treat the woman that I'm going to marry with some respect. And he's flat just says in front of her parents, in front of her, that he wants to marry her. Now, let's not forget, 20-something-year-old man, junior high student. Like, you see, and it's not like he's not aware of this, too. Mind you, he is aware of this fact, too. He understands what he's doing is weird, by the way. He understands what he's doing is weird. Because Kyoko literally says, do you have a Lolita complex? Like, and he says, where'd you learn that from? Like, no, it's your fault for being, like, born later than me. I'm sorry, but, like, huh? Like, but I was so disgusted when I heard him say that. Like, hey, bro, ain't no way, bro. Mind you, he literally said that he held back because he said that the first time he saw her, basically, first time he really talked to her, he fell in love with her. 14-year-old, by the way. And he said, but you're in junior high back then, so I held back. Mind you, she's still a minor when they get together. By the way. And let's not forget, he marries this teenage girl. And even worse, impregnates her. She ends up a young teen mother. She was a teen mother. he impregnated this young teenage girl. And no one, like, am I crazy here? Like, is this not a problem? Are we not seeing the issue here? And the problem with this is that it's framed as a beautiful love story. Like, they're not showing you that this is wrong. And I understand Fruits Basket is the sign of the times, okay? It came out in late 90s, early 2000s. So really the sign of the time, that was the trope back then. No, like, older man, young girl, and teacher, student, whatever. That was the trope back then. But, like, they're not even, like, they're showing this as it's supposed to be a romantic relationship. We're supposed to be like, aw. And I'm like, ugh. And everyone in, like, her family and his family were against it, as they should be. But except for his father. His father, Katsuya's father, was okay with it. He was like, hey, if you guys love each other, everything's fine. Ew. But I think I want to reiterate here that he was basically her whole world. He was the first person to ever care about her, to ever love her, to ever show her treat her like a human being, basically. He was the first person to ever do that. So she is overly attached to him. And so when he eventually ends up dying, she just, like, could not take it. She just could not take it. Like, she was, I mean, of course it's normal for anyone, like, whether they're groomed or not, to be so, like, distraught in their grief they just, like, shut down. It happens, you know. But it's even worse. I feel bad for this young girl who ends up losing her husband in just such an unexpected way that she just shuts down. She needed him because she was all that, and Toru, besides Toru, that was all that she had. That was her world, to the point where she ends up neglecting Toru for a while, for like a few days at least, because she was just so consumed in her grief, and she almost offs herself because she was just so consumed by her grief. She just missed him so much. She just needed him so much. Again, her whole world, that was literally all she had. And eventually she ended up snapping out of it and, like, you know, being the mother that Toru needed. But she almost neglected this little girl. Like, Toru, like, again, not, I mean, personal, I can't put that all on him. Personal responsibility, you know, is a factor in the situation, but, like, the poor woman was consumed by grief. And that's no excuse for neglecting your child, because this deeply affected Toru too, like, as she got older. And you will see it in her personality. It's deeply affected her. And the way that she acts. And it makes her feel like she's a bad person. But that's nothing here nor there. That's something else entirely. That's a different video. I could go on about Toru. Anyways, this grown man, who was a teacher, by the way, took advantage of this young girl who had no one. She had no one that was there for her, and he took advantage of that. Whether you want to say he was that type of person or not, that's exactly what he did. He was in a position of power and took advantage of this young girl who literally had no one that cared about her, like, at all. No one cared about this girl. And here's my issue. My issue is with the fandom, because why are we not giving this man the lashings that he deserves? And it was even worse. People are, like, praising, like, oh my gosh, he was such a good dad. He was such a good dad to Toru. Oh my gosh, he loved her so much. First of all, I mean, yes, he was a good dad to Toru. He loved her. That's great. That's beautiful and all. But him being a good dad does not make him a good person, and does not negate the fact that he did groom this girl, and that he is a predator. That does not take that away. Oh, but he loved her so much. Another excuse I see. So, she was 14 when they met. And mind you, people are saying, oh, well, no, she wasn't in junior high when they got together. He said he fell in love with her when she was 14. They got together when she was like 15, when she was like 15, 16. Mind you, man in his 20s, by the way. Man in his 20s. Another excuse I see. Well, the age of consent in Japan is... I don't even want to talk about why that shouldn't even be a factor in this equation, because first of all, different prefectures have different ages of consent. Okay. Second of all, even if age of consent is 13, as people say, even if that is the case, morally speaking, what he's doing is still weird. Another excuse. Oh, well, he wasn't her teacher. So, he was a teacher. He still had that position of power. He's an authority figure. And again, she's still 20-something-year-old man, teenage girl that he groomed and married. Oh, well, it's a sign of, well, it was okay back then. Again, I know that Fruits Basket is a series that is a product of its time. But just because something was okay, it was not okay back then, does not mean that it's okay now or okay in general. Like, just, okay, how about this? Just because some things were acceptable, I put in quotes, because even at that point in time, I don't think that was acceptable. Just because it was acceptable at the time does not mean that it was okay back then or that it's okay now. That's what people understand. Just because something was allowed does not mean that it was morally right. And there are people back then, I'm sure, would agree too. I'm sure people back then agree that that was not okay. And there are people now that agree that it's not okay. Like, we can still hold people to the same standards. Okay, like, we're not, it's not like we're looking back at caveman times, okay? Back then, people still thought this relationship was wrong. Plus, they acknowledge the age issue in the series. They acknowledge it. Katsuya literally says, "It's not my fault. You should have been born later." Or whatever the heck. Wait, she said something along the lines. She's like, no, what he said was, "It's not my fault that you were born later than me." And then even Kyoko herself says, yeah, well, again, she was a young, naive girl, but even she was saying, like, if only I had been, like, born, like, sooner, or something along those lines, or saying, like, oh, well, like, like, I'm, because of my age, like, I didn't think he'd look at me that way, or something like that. Racist. Like, I didn't think I have a chance because of my age, but still, I'd hope that he looked at me, blah, blah, blah. So mind you, they do acknowledge the age. Age is something that they do acknowledge that their age gap is weird, and they acknowledge they have a big age gap. So it's not like it's not like this isn't an issue because they mention it. I just don't like this could be a cautionary tale. This could be a cautionary tale. That's my criticism. But it's not. We're supposed to look at this like it's romantic. That is how we're supposed to see this. We're supposed to see this as a romantic relationship. He saved this girl. He saved her and he loves her so much, and she changed his life too. Be so astronomically for real. I'm sorry, I just can't look at this like, oh, like, and there are people in the fandom who do. They're like, oh, he loves her so much, she's so cute. And they're defending this. Like, do you all hear yourselves? Do you guys hear yourselves? Could you, as a grown adult, get with a 14-year-old? If you say no, then you need to understand why this is wrong. And again, it's fiction, it's not real. It's fiction, it's not real. Don't care. Don't care. Just because you're fictional characters doesn't mean you have to be okay with it. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. But all I'm trying to say is that Katsuya does not get the lashings that he deserves. We drag everyone, all these other characters through the mud. But Katsuya Honda does not get the lashings that he needs. And I need this fandom to, like, step up. I need Fruits Basket fandom. I need you guys to step up and give this man the lash that he deserved. Even from the grave, he deserves to be dragged because he is a groomer. He is indeed a groomer. He is indeed he's disgusting. He could have been a mentor for her. He could have got her the help that she needed. Anything instead of marry her. But he married her because he likes kids. So I guess, sure, why not? But yeah, that's been on my chest for a while. So I'm glad that I got that out the way. So if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, and in the comments, let me know how you feel about Katsuya Honda. And well, take care of yourselves. Bye.